Cherry was initially an alter ego, and I wanted to turn that alter ego's perspective into an EP. I figured that since I already wrote a story basically inspired by that same exact alter ego, why not, put it in my music? So basically, she represents a side of not just me, but women, the very honest voice of what an unhealed girl is in love. Like Cherry basically being the representation of virginity. Basically, Cherry is that girl starting off in life, trying to figure out herself through love, and trying to, first starting out on love, first time ever venturing out on love, first time ever, having an interaction through love. And that is what Cherry is. I want to say my first love and what I had to go through with experiencing that. Whether that be the beginning of the relationship through the middle to end, basically explaining the different stages and the different emotions you go through with basically falling in love for the first time. It doesn't even have to be being in a relationship for the first time, when you actually find yourself feeling feelings that you've never felt before. It tells this story of a very truthful, very honest story of what it's like when you're navigating your love life for the very first time. Hence why it's not a woman knowing herself. It's basically the start of life, the start of finding yourself through love in a very honest, brutal way. What inspired Cherry was the very first, I want to say, situationship that I've ever had in life. And the feelings that I had moving on from that relationship and breaking free from that relationship. And how, even when you realize that somebody isn't good for you, that yeah, you can cut them off, but you have to detach from those feelings, and essentially it's easier said than done. So I put it all in a song to help me understand what I was going through, and basically putting it in the music basically showed me hey, this isn't too it's normal. When I first cut basically that first person off, I just felt it wasn't normal for me to still want to be in a relationship with them. But after experiencing life and listening to other people's stories and stuff, and even putting it down on paper, it's just okay, all of it makes sense now. Understanding that it's not gonna be perfect. I want people to feel understood when they hear this. I want people to hear honesty, because I feel when it comes to love nowadays, a lot of people don't talk about the real shit. I'm not shitting on anybody, but a lot of people like to glamorize the toxicity, and a lot of people like to act oblivious to the things that they put themselves through with dealing with toxic relationships. Everybody is basically like, if if they toxic, I'm toxic. That's basically what people like to see when it's just like, but is that really good for you? I hope and I pray that if somebody is going through a toxic relationship, that they do come to realization that they deserve so much better. But for somebody to realize that, I feel like you have to be completely straight up honest. I feel like it can help people because, I don't know, I just feel like it could probably help somebody out there who is like in the brink of it. And because when I like was going through it, I was like in denial of wanting to love that person. But when you like really look back on it and you're honest with yourself, you learn a lot about how you want to maneuver with the next person you want to come in contact with, or you learn a lot about of what you want for yourself and how you want to be treated in the next phase of your life, in the next relationship you go into. So I just hope and I pray that people can learn those things through this. Really be honest with themselves and really take some shame off of like the emotions that they feel. Really take shame off of like basically take the shame of what they tolerated in a relationship that they themselves just like did not get the best out of. Like basically I think it can help people really move on in a very healthy way, and very like move on in a way that is very inducive to their growth. And if you don't grow in this lifetime, I don't think there's room for true happiness without growth. You can't grow, and you can't feel like you can't not feel pain from growing. And I think that's what Cherry is about.